My name is Ezzie Waters, and I am the care coordinator at Catholic Charities Bloomington.
And I'm Dennis Craig. I'm a marriage and family therapist at Catholic Charities Bloomington, working on my full license.
Dennis, I want to ask you today about some recommendations that you might have for couples who are struggling with communication.
Well, one of the things at the Gottman Institute, which does, okay, one of the things Gottman Institute really emphasizes are doing a gentle startup if there's a conflict or if there's a question, as opposed to a harsh startup. A harsh startup is we'll start off with angry words or saying things like "you always," "you do this every time," things like that, which usually will kind of push things into a conflict. What happens with a gentle startup, you acknowledge your feelings. You say, I am feeling angry about the way we just interacted. I need from you, and then you explain what you need. So if I'm angry about the way that you're talking to me about this problem we're having, I need maybe a half an hour to calm down, or a half an hour, or to some time to gather my thoughts and come back. As it's to paraphrase a colleague of mine, you end up with what you start up with. So if you start off with a harsh, you always do this to me or whatever, you're going to end up in a conflict or a fight. But if you start off saying, I'm feeling this way about the situation, this is what I need, that's where you're going to have a gentle startup. And eventually you can sit down at some point and talk calmly about what's going on. And the Gottmans emphasize that at times you may need, you'll become what they call emotionally flooded, overwhelmed with emotion, really angry. And you can say, I just need some time. They recommend 30 minutes to 24 hours, but to make sure that you do the follow-up and come back and talk things out in a calm, rational voice.
Are there ever times when a gentle startup that you don't see it working?
Well, every couple and every situation is different. And sometimes it could start off as a gentle startup, and it's hard to break old habits. Or if a person becomes overwhelmed and their things can tip over into a conflict or a cyclical argument that just goes on all weekend or whatever. Yeah. So, but the key is somebody has to say, stop, let's come back at this later, and then just go to a different part of wherever you're at. Kind of break the spell of the anger.
I guess my last question would be like, if you advise taking that space from your partner, but you're both stuck at home right now, what are some activities people could do to get away from each other and cool down?
My favorite Gottman response to that is to go flip through some magazines. If you're in the living room, leave the living room, go to another part of the house. Take the time that you need. Usually it's about 20 minutes to a half an hour, but sometimes you literally need to just take more than that and take 24 hours so that you can clear out the emotion and come back and address the problem. And I also think that doing something like, getting a drink of water, drinking some water just to, wash the cortisol out of your body or whatever, if you're really getting upset, really helps.
Yeah, that's a good idea too. I always forget to drink water. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. I hope that you all can try that this weekend. And thank you, Dennis, for your expertise and for sharing with us today.